Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Thanks for watching. Today I'm here to talk a little bit about my Akaso V50 Pro camera that I've been using throughout my videos. I've used this camera for about 2 years. Main reason I got this camera was because it was the closest camera I could get from a GoPro. Just giving you an honest review on this camera. This is not a in-depth review of like all the features of the camera. It's just like my personal opinion with the things that I use, the features that I use most with this camera. So start with the pros of this camera. Before we start with the pros and cons of this camera, let's take a look at the camera first of all. The camera body, it's actually really nice. It looks very very professional camera. Actually, it's kind of like a rubber. It's not those cheap plastic that you find in the budget cameras. This is actually a really nice rubber. It comes with the case as well, and of course, and the only thing I did was to drill a hole in the case, and I'll show you later why the reason I did that is to install a microphone here, so I did that. And also it comes with a wrist remote control, you can control the camera, and it comes with a bunch of accessories inside here. There's a lot of accessories there. There's clips for helmet, straps for bikes, and lots of stuff. So start with the pros of this camera. One of the main pros of this camera is price, because with the price of this camera, I believe it's going about 150 euros. You get a lot for what you pay for, and you get loads of accessories in the camera, as I say. There is clips, and I'm not gonna go through each one of them, but like the straps, clips, helmet clips, and what else? There's all different brackets like this. There's quite a lot of stuff in here. Also, the main important thing is it comes with 2 batteries and a double battery charger, so which is ideal because when you're riding, you're using one camera, and if you have like a way to charge a camera, you recharge on the go, so you never be without like a camera that has no battery. So that's one main thing. The price is one of the main things this camera offers. I believe it's 150 euros now. Probably you can get a different version, for the SE version for that now, but it's a great price for a camera like that, which was one of the main things I went for, because at the time I couldn't afford a GoPro, so that's why I went for that. And you get a lot of this, so you don't have to be buying all these clips and all these things, and you can, with that, you can already start like doing your vlogs, your MotoVlogs, or you can start like shooting outdoors. So that's the accessories. Is the second thing, like I say, important this camera. Also about this camera, it's all the features that this camera offers. I mean, for a middle range, I would say this camera offers a lot of features. And one of the main features that I liked about this camera is the image stabilization of this camera is quite good. Sure, they might be open already. Oh, they are open. Great. There's a nice beaches around the way. They'll walk there. The image stabilization is quite good with this camera, and I can't complain. For us like to ride a bike and have this camera attached to a helmet, this is an important thing to have, so we don't get the shaking of the camera. So I'm very happy with the quality of the image stabilization of this camera. Another thing that this camera has is noise reduction. You can enable that through the camera settings, and it actually works really well. You don't get much wind noise. Of course, you have to use a microphone, because if you just install this camera in the helmet like that, you're going to get a lot of noise. And that comes to our next feature, which is provides like a microphone with this camera. In the past, like you buy an action cameras, you had to buy micro adapters, jack adapters to install a microphone, and you had to open up the camera, hacking in the camera to try to get like the adapter to work. And believe me or not, I've done that, and it's not a good thing to do anyway. It's to open up your camera, start messing around. But that's the way you had to do before, because like most of the cameras didn't come with like an adapter for a microphone. Of course, the new cameras, the very expensive cameras might have now, but the cheaper ones didn't have that. But this one comes like already with a micro USB here for the microphone. The only downside with this is actually it says it's only it only supports the Akaso microphone, which I bought it anyway, and it's not expensive. It's only about 10 euros, and which is worth. Now I don't know if it does work within the microphone using like either a connector or an adapter, or type USB type microphone, because I haven't tested that, so I'm not sure. But it works with the Akaso, and it's a good feature. But also, I'm going to explain to you later on the cons, which it is not a great thing. And but we keep on with the pros of this camera. You know, this camera has a touch screen in the back, so I'm just going to turn it on for you to see. The camera, I'm not sure you can see. You can touch on the screen there in the back, and here you can change your settings and everything else, which is it's a good thing, because if you wanted to change your settings quick, this is a quick way to do it. You just go in the back of the camera and change your settings right there. For me, I don't use that much, because the camera is attached to my helmet, and the only time that I use this is if I checking the settings or something like that. But once I do all my settings on the camera and I leave it like that, I never use that again. And also I don't preview any of my videos in the camera, so I preview them on the PC, which is better to see and everything else. But yeah, it's the feature is there, so if you want to use, it's available to you. Another thing that this camera comes with this camera is, as I say, is the remote control. It's a strap, is like a watch, and really nice rubber, and has to power it on, and you can click here and power it on, and click and hold. I should power it on, and then you have an option to take a picture or do a video, right? So it is a great thing. You can attach to your wrist. For me, I don't, because I'm riding a bike, so there's no point. But I used to use this with my tank bag, and I stopped using this, and I will tell you why I stopped using this. And don't see. So it comes with a case, as I say. It comes out with the strap. So for me, These features is great, you know, like for a camera like of that price, you get lots of features. There's quite more features in this camera that I told you here. You know, you can, it's a 4K camera at 6 frames per second. You can change that as well. There is actually options to, you know, riding options. Sorry, what camera options? You know, you can set my one at the moment setting it's a riding mode. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but what it does. But you know, the performance of the video is better. That's the only thing I know. But it is a good camera for the price it is. Now, the cons of this camera. One of the main cons of this camera, and the main issue with this camera, and I think it's letting down this camera quite a big time, and I think Akaso should actually address this problem, and is one of the things that is putting down this camera. It's a really nice camera for the price, as I say, really nice design, really nice materials on the camera, but one of the main issues with this camera is the sound. The sound of this camera is just crap. This is a test. This is a Akaso V50 Pro camera and testing the sound quality without the microphone. Right? Even with the microphone, if you put the microphone here, it's crap. It's usable, yeah, it is. I mean, you have to tweak a bit with the microphone volume. If you leave the microphone volume very high, you get this pinching noise, and I'll show you in a minute. And if you leave it too low, then your voice is fine. It's a bit low, but then the surrounding sound doesn't reach the microphone, and it becomes quite low. So then you have to play around with that. And then it's gonna press Galorga and do the all the way around. So now here we're gonna take a left and go to this Scalic Ring Road to the Venice Scalics, and that will take me back to where I want to go. What I do is I leave in the balance between 60, below 60, and between 50 and 60, and then what I do is I fix the sound when I'm editing the videos in my program, which is sometimes works fine, but major problem with this camera is the microphone. So the microphone's, sorry, the sound of that in the mic. It doesn't matter if you use a microphone, which is, it helps a bit, but if you don't use a microphone, then it's just horrible, very, very bad. The next issue that I have with this camera is there is a few features in this camera that I'm not sure it's because of the firmware that I have. I've contacted Akaso to see if they can solve this problem, because on their website they say you shouldn't be upgrading the software, and if you do upgrade the software and there's a problem with the camera and it's your own problem, they won't cover for that. So I contact support to see if they can fix that. One of the main problems is the date and the time, and this camera keeps resetting. Now, yeah, it's not a big deal for a lot of people, but it's a big deal for me because I shoot a lot of videos, and the sequence of my videos are based on the date and the time. And when I come home and I try to see all the videos and try to put on the editing software, I look at the date and time and I go from there. Now, sometimes that happens when the battery dies and you change the battery and it seems to lose that date and time. Other times it doesn't happen at all, but it happens a few times. So that's something that should be addressed, and something that's causing problems for me especially, because I use the sequence. Now, if you don't use the sequence, there won't be no problem, because the date and time is only on the file itself. There is another feature in this camera that uses file length, and basically what it does is there's an option for unlimited file length, and what that should do according to the menu is to, if you are shooting with this camera constantly, it shouldn't create different files. It should create one big long file until you stop the video. But it doesn't work. What it's doing is actually shooting the video, and then certain times it creates different files. That's fine if the dating time was not the issue here, but because the dating time is the issue, you got all these loads of files that you don't know what's the beginning, what's the end, and it's all cut in half. So it's a big issue that they need to address. And one of the last cons is the remote control. Remote control, it would be great and it would work fantastically if it worked correctly, but sometimes the remote control tends to turn off or lose connection to the camera. Now I was using this at the beginning because it was an easy thing to do. I had it on my tank bag, and then if I see something, if I want to shoot a video, I would press the video, would start recording, and then I would stop and continue on. And it only has a small light down the bottom here, and you barely can see it, the light. See, it's just buried there. So you don't know when this is on and off if you're riding a bike. It's okay if you're using your wrist and you're walking or you're far away from the camera, but if you're riding a bike, you can see that. So many times happened to me was that the camera was on, the remote control lost connection, and I thought it was connected, and I was pressing the video here and I wouldn't do anything, wouldn't record, and then when I got home realized that the shootage was all lost. So I completely stopped using this. If I'm actually shooting on the tripod, the camera's in tripod, I might use that so I don't have to go back to the camera on it and turn it on. But otherwise, riding a bike, I don't do that. This is all the cons, but the biggest one is the sound. I think I could live without this because I can use the buttons on the case here to press to turn on the camera and press to record and press again to stop. Not ideal because the camera is here, and also you don't see when the camera is on because the light is very small. So, but anyway, it works. I can press it on. It's fine. So I don't need that. But file length as well. If the dating time works, yeah, it would be perfect. But at the moment, if it doesn't work, I can still see the files and I can still figure out, because usually what I do straight away after my ride. I will look at the files. But if I was doing a long journey, then that wouldn't work because I would have so many files, and by the time I got home or I would start editing them, I would probably lose track of where I was. With all that said, question is it worth it to buy this camera? Is it worth to buy the Akaso V50 Pro camera? Well, that depends. It depends. If you like me, that was starting with the MotoVlogging and and price was one of your main issues, then yeah, considering that the volume is not that great, the sound of the microphone is not that great, then yeah, okay, you could live by it and get one of these. Now, if you are upgrading from a different camera, or if you're already doing vlogging and you wanted to buy a camera, a new camera, then I would say no because of the sound. Would I buy it again if that one breaks? No, I wouldn't buy it again. And the main reason, not the quality of the camera. Quality is great. Not the features of the camera. The features are great. And not because of the price of the camera. The price is good. Or the accessory that comes with the camera, which is fantastic. You can start riding tomorrow with all of that. But just because of the sound. The sound is letting this camera completely down. And I wish if Akaso, for some reason, looks at this video, address this, Akaso, because this is letting you guys completely down. And I know for a fact this is not a problem only with the V50. There's a problem with the Brave 7 as well. The quality is not that great. And the E7000 series as well was not that great, and believe me or not, was actually better than that. So it is a problem with the cameras from Akaso. So Akaso, if you will look at this video, please do us a favor and fix the sound problem of this camera. Great camera, great price, but the sound is letting you down. And this is it. This is my true opinion. Thanks for watching, guys. And if you're not subscribed already, please do. There'll be quite a lot of videos coming up. The many trips I plan to do. And if you already subscribed, thanks very much, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.